What is up YouTube, and welcome back. It's another F1 Friday video. Yes, we are continuing with career mode, my team. We are off to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. We did a phenomenal finish last week, ending P1 of the race, which is great. Unfortunately, Enzo did not finish the race, but that's okay. We're here to build on. Now, starting off today's episode, we had a bit of an event that we needed to focus on. We're looking at awareness of pace. We choose pace because we want Enzo to fight with us. We need the points. Now, looking at our activity timeline, we are looking at adding some morale to our departments because we don't want any of our parts that we're going to be bringing into the next couple of races to fail. We're also focusing on some of our second driver's performance, being Enzo. Then, now what we're looking at is we want to upgrade our departments. We can't stagnate in terms of development. This is a development race. So, we're looking at 7.6 million in the bank at the moment. So, we are going to upgrade one of our departments. At the moment, I'm thinking of our chassis and our aerodynamics, that being a big part of this season. So we're going on build quality, just reducing the failure of some of the parts we want to bring in. So I've also gone with durability. Again, quality control. We don't want our parts failing. We need to build the reliability of our car. We need to build the reliability of not the reliability, but just in terms of development, we can't have any failures. Now, looking at some upgrades, this will help us with the coming races. We might not get it on in time for this race, but I'm looking at whether we should do a major upgrade or if we should do little upgrades just to boost our performance for now and then saving up our points. So we do go with a smaller upgrade. It's a minor upgrade. It does come in after the Grand Prix, but that's fine. It gives us a nice little buffer for our next race on the 31st of March. So yeah, I look at aerodynamics and chassis, like I said, and this is going to help us just develop our car. Our engine is looking quite good in terms of performance. So we need to develop the aerodynamics and our chassis. I know I keep saying this, but yeah, that is it. So we are looking good for this Grand Prix. Now, practice 2, I see there's a little bit of rain, so we need to focus on what we can do here. Now, going into practice 1, we're not going to do a lot of running in practice 1 because it is during the day and this is a night race. So it's going to be, the data that we get in practice 1 is going to be quite useless. So I'm saving our race strategy and our quali strategy for practice 2. We'll have to see how the rain holds up in that session. So all I'm going to do in this session is I'm just going to focus on our track acclimatization, just trying to learn the track. This is quite a difficult track for me because it's quite a tight track. It's a street circuit, so the moment you make a mistake, you're into the wall and you're out of the race. And now, if you don't know our track acclimatization, all we need to do is hit the corner gates at a decent enough speed and earn enough points to pass this program. So as you can see, it's looking scrappy. Like I said, this is quite a difficult track, especially the end of the first sector. I touched the wall a little bit over there, but I'm trying to see if we have any damage. I don't think we do. No, we don't. And we are just going through the lap, trying to learn as much as possible. This turn is very nice. It sets you up for this back piece, the end of sector 2 and the beginning of sector 3. Very, very nice. Like I said, all we're trying to do is we're trying to learn the track, trying to learn our braking points, trying to learn where to accelerate. We don't want wheel spin going out of any corners, because that's when we're going to lose a lot of our time, like we saw in Bahrain. I don't nail this sector, you can see there, and this in turn will make it that I don't get a good run into this final sector, but that's okay. We're here to improve, and we are just learning the track as we go. So coming up to the line, we're going to see where this puts us, how much time did we lose, and where we are looking at in the race. And it's a 1:35.2. It's not a great lap. We're only P10. Now going on to the next lap, again, not a great lap for myself. I've improved a little bit, but it's not by much. We're down in P11 and we're up by 0.2, which is good. Final lap time is a 1:34.9. Now lap 3, again, still not great. End of the program. Mark is not happy with it. I'm not happy with it. So we definitely do need a lot of improvement. And yeah, so we're on lap 5 now. Again, you can see we're 1 second up on our previous best, which is amazing. So what I've done here is I've just gone out. I didn't want to focus on the track acclimatization. I felt I was stressing too much with the track acclimatization, so I was making a lot of mistakes. And with this lap, I felt I was doing very well. And I was 1.3 seconds up, and then all of a sudden I started losing time, and I'm thinking, what has gone on? What have I done? Realizing I have run out of fuel. So, I mean, what would have been a great lap ended up being a little bit of a not so great lap. And at this point I wanted to put on the softs. I'm down in P17. I've got the soft tires on. I want to see where this puts us. Now, again, lap times weren't looking great, but I did show promise there was some promise for some pace. So let's see where we end up on this lap. Starting this, DRS is wide open. Again, this is just practice. We're just trying to learn the track. Don't put too much pressure on yourself in practice. And you can see I'm about 10th down, 2/10 down. Not a great corner. And running up to this corner, if we nail it, we get it right. And I touch the wall and I'm out of practice 1. What? I thought I had cleared that corner, but I didn't. As you can see, I've taken my tire off, and it was not a great end to our session. So where does this put us in terms of pace? I think we are down in P17. So we have a lot of work to do going into practice 2. Where's Enzo end up? Enzo's 15th, which is quite good, but I am down in 20th. I am well off the pace, 2.6 seconds off the Red Bulls. But yeah, we need to work in practice 2. So going into practice 2, we need to work quickly. As you can see, there is rain forecast for this session, so I want to get out as quickly as possible, trying to miss the rain. I don't want to be caught out and then I'm not able to gather enough data. So starting our qualifying lap, I'm just trying to make sure the tires are warm, and we're gonna ride on board as I go through this qualifying lap. So going into this corner, get a good run up to the start line here. DRS wide open, 7th gear up into 8th gear, using as much energy as I can, and hit the brakes now. Downshift all the way to 2nd. You can downshift to the 1st gear. Yeah, it does give you better rotation. I had seen, but I just kept forgetting to do it. Lap time isn't looking good. Don't hit that wall like we saw in practice 1. We don't want to be out of the Grand Prix. And yeah, these set of S's are a little difficult. Don't get too close to that wall. Again, if you get too close, you're going to get sent wide on that, running up to the end of the first sector. First sector, I have put in it was a great first sector, ends up being the fastest first sector, as you can see on the mini map with the little purple with it going purple. Now, start of sector 2, well, halfway through sector 2, I should rather say. We get a good run up here. Now, with this, there's a little corner here that you want to nail, because if you nail this corner, you gain a lot of time, but I have run wide and I don't nail it, and I've lost a couple tenths on this lap. I hit the wall a little. Luckily, there was not enough damage for me to worry about. But again, it shows you how clinical you have to be at this track. And just keep it tight over here, running into the last, running up to the line here. So, where's this going to put us? I'm a second up on the time that they need me to do, and it's a 1:30.3. It's a great lap, but it needs to be better. There is a lot of improvement that I can do on this lap, but we're not worried about that now. Okay, it's a 1:30.3. I am 1.8 seconds ahead of Lando Norris, but it's the start of practice 1. Just skipping through some time here, and we are going to see if it starts raining. No, it doesn't, so we are going to go on our race strategy. So this is going to give us information on how our race might unfold. It's going to give us information on our potential strategy that we can use for the race, what tire will be best suited. It will give us numbers on our tire wear, our fuel consumption per lap, and it when at the beginning of the race, this is just going to give us an indication of how much fuel with these 5 laps, how much fuel we'll need. So it's quite good. As you can see, I've skipped through a lot of the laps. My times weren't looking too bad. I did pick up damage. So what I was doing here is just trying to figure out how the car reacts in these conditions, because it's a night race. All I'm trying to learn is, as you can see here, I've picked up damage. You don't see it, but I did hit the wall, so I had front wing damage. But I was just trying to learn how I need to handle the car in these situations. This is just going to help me learn for the race if this had to happen. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm here to learn and just figure out where I should be and where I should put this car. And that is pretty much it for practice 2. I ended up ending the session just there, and we are gonna go and head into quali soon. So I ended up P2, not bad. I'm a 10th off the Mercedes, and Max Verstappen is 7 tenths behind us. So we do have pace in this car, and it is showing. So we have a good indication for how quali is going to go, and let's dive right in. This is honestly just a beautiful track. There I am getting ready for our qualifying session. Where will we end up? Will we make it out of Q1? Will we make it into Q3? Let's see how quali goes. Now, starting our quali lap at the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. DRS wide open all the way up into 8th gear. Now downshift all the way down to 2nd in turn 1. Turn 2, you want to get a great exit gear. You don't want to put wheel spin, have any wheel spin. Turn 3, approaching turn 4, do a nice little sharp turn. Again, keeping your gears quite low. You want enough rotation on your wheel. And these little set of S's you want to try and perfect. You don't want to go wide over here. It's just gonna mesh your lap up. So approaching turn 13, again I go wide. It's not great. I know I can improve a heck of a lot. Turn 14, keep it tight. Approaching 15, 16 and 17, and we are going to approach the next DRS zone. So approaching this corner here, DRS again wide open, using as much energy as you can, and you're going to approaching turns 22, 23 and 24. You want to get a great exit here, because this is going to set you up for a massive 3rd sector. You want to nail this 3rd sector and nail turn 27. This is a very important turn. You don't want to mess this up. It gives you a good run up to the finish line. So after this, where does it put us? Looked good, and it ends up being P3 with a 130.1. What an amazing lap. I only did one lap in Q1 because I felt this 130.1 was good enough. So let's see, did I make it out of Q1? And yes, I did. It's a 130.1, 2/10 behind the Ferrari, and the Red Bulls are hot on my tail as well. There is more to come and more to play for. It's going to be an exciting Q2 and Q3. So Q2, I decided to put in a banker time with a used set of softs. It is just to kind of give me an indication on where I will be. If I had put these softs on, it's a 131.6. It's not a great lap. I did make a lot of mistakes, and I realized why the car felt so sluggish. My fuel levels were too high, so I had to drop them. I ended up dropping it to 3.4. This is just going to help us with more pace. We don't want to have our fuel too high in quali. We are currently P15, so this needs to be a monstrous lap for myself. I'm on a 131.6 already. Not a great start to this lap. I'm a little bit down. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10 down, but I claw back some time. 2/10 now, almost 5/10 at the first and second corner. So going up to turn 4, going to the green, it's going well so far, and we need to do well to progress to Q3. Keep it tight here, don't send it wide. I keep it on the track, which is perfect. Don't exceed track limits. 6/10 up on the first sector. Now this sector, this turn, I turn 13, I end up keeping it nice and tight the way I want it to be, because we need a good run here. And going into turn 16 and 17, going onto the straight, 1 second up on my banker time. DRS is wide open, 8th gear all the way through into this heavy braking zone. Do I nail? I touched the wall a little, but it doesn't send me wide, so I was able to correct it. I caught the car just in time. DRS again wide open. I am 1.8 seconds up, 1.9 seconds. This is going to be an amazing lap. Where's this going to put me? Going into the final corner, turn 27, and up to the line. We're going to open up our DRS right now, go through the gear, 7th gear, up into 8th gear, 2.1 seconds. Where does it put us? We are P3 for Q2. Again, we end P3, and it was an amazing lap. 2.1 seconds up on our personal best. Again, we just know how to bring it when it counts and when it matters. So now looking at the end of the session, where are the rest of the drivers? Who's going through? Does my teammate make it? Let's have a look. My teammate does not make it, but look at those times. Look at the times between the top 3. Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez. We are so close. This is going to be an exciting Q3. Are we able to get pole? Our first pole of the season. Remember, last race we ended up starting P5. Now we're starting P3. Now the banker time I set in Q3 was a 129.8. If I remember correctly, 5 minutes to go. Yeah, 129.8. We are in 8th place. We're just going to skip some time. For these laps, I do an out lap myself. I want to control my own tire temperatures, and this is just going to help me for the rest of the lap. So let's ride on board for the final lap of qualifying, Q3, where it's all to play. So already a good start to the lap, and we are up on our time. Make sure we don't lose a lot of time in the first two corners. Great, keeping that nice and tidy. Don't hit the wall here. We don't want to end our session on a bad note. Now these set of S's, trying to be clinical here. Don't overdo it. Keeping it tight, keeping it on the track. I do keep it on the track. I almost hit the wall there, ending our quali session, but it's good. We have set the fastest first sector, 7 tenths up after the 13th corner. Now, running up to turn 15, 16, and 17. We need to nail this for this straight. Opening up our DRS soon. We are 8 tenths up on our personal best. DRS wide open. Max Verstappen has just put in the fastest lap. Are we able to match this? Going up here, and we keep it tight, a little untidy. Quali is complete, but we are still flying through this. 9 tenths up. Charles Leclerc has just put in a 128.7. Are we able to match that? We're 1 second up. We need to improve a lot more to achieve what he has done to get pole position. Now, we're losing a little bit of time. It means that we did not get a great run into this final sector. And where does it put us? We are P3 yet again. For 3 qualifying sessions in a row, we end up P3. What a session. It was an amazing battle between everyone. Let's see how far we are from the Ferraris and the Red Bulls. And it is 1/10 off pole position. This would have been a great place to get pole position, but end of the day, I made a few mistakes. I could have been on pole if I'd just been more precise in that final sector. But there's a lot to play for in the race. Where are we going to end up? And we are going to head off to the race now.
We've got fast sweeping corners under the lights and 20 racers all ready to write their name into the quickly growing history of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Iceman, Norris, Perez, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Stroll, Bottas, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Albon, Gasly, Joe, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Fittipaldi, and Logan Sargent. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And what would any Grand Prix weekend be without the one and only Anthony Davidson alongside me, as always, to talk you through the action. Now, let's talk about Charles Leclerc.
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? And let's see who's able to keep their tyres in that temperature sweet spot early on. You've got a great tyre warmer underneath your right foot, and the drivers need to make the most of that on the formation lap, lest they see themselves skating wide at turn 1 on cold rubber.
We had a great points finish last race. Just like Mark says over here, we are starting P3. We are in a good position. We need to get a great start. So, default strategy, softs to mediums. I don't feel like this is the right strategy, so I decide to do the alternative, to do go on a medium and a hard. So, it is 5 lights and away we go for the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. What a long wait for that start. I go down on the inside of Max Verstappen. There's a little bit of contact. I push him wide, and what is going on? So let's look at it from my perspective now. 5 lights, and here we go. What an amazing start. Charles Leclerc, terrible start for him. Up into overtake. Max on my inside. I go around the outside, back in, push him a little wide. There is a little bit of contact, but no damage. I was very aggressive for that lap. Now, All I want to do is I want to build the gap. I don't want Max to be so close to me. I want to win this race. And I want to make sure I can gain as much points as possible. But as you can see, my first lap is very scrappy. It doesn't give me any hope for this Grand Prix. But I need to focus. So I feel the car is just a little bit sluggish with all this fuel on board. And I'm hoping that we have a more competitive car at the end of this race. Max Verstappen right on my tail, 1/10 down, or not down, but 2/10 just behind me, and he's gonna get a good run out on this. I'm trying to make my car as wide as possible so he can't overtake me into the sector, but I run a little deep here. It's not good, and going onto this straight, look at that. He just, with the slipstream and his ERS and just being in a Red Bull, he can overtake me. And there we go. I wanted to keep it tight, but I don't want to have any contact between us. So what I was thinking of is just trying to stay with him. You know, he's put in the fastest lap on lap 2, and I just want to stay with him, try to build a gap with the guys behind me. Sainz is behind me, Norris and Leclerc, and they are rapid. Their cars perform much better than mine, but you can see on lap 3, I am 2 seconds, 1.8 seconds behind Max Verstappen, and I almost go wide there, but these little mistakes is causing the guys behind me to catch me at a rapid rate, and it's hurting my race. It's hurting my points finish for this. I dive down, I'm very late on the brakes, and we make it through this corner without any contact. I don't want to send anyone into the wall, causing a red flag or even potentially a safety car. So lap 4, we are now 2.2 seconds behind Max. Carlos Sainz had a bad run on that lap, so it gives us a little bit of breathing room. Hamilton and Perez 2.2 and 2.5 seconds behind us. Now Carlos Sainz just 1 second behind us. Now we need to build this lead. We need to keep it going. But as you can see later on in this lap, I just can't. It's like my tires are on ice. It's not feeling great. My lap times are shocking. 2/10. This is also causing the guys behind us to catch me. And you know, again, fighting this corner, turn 27, very tight. We're giving each other room, showing each other respect, and Carlos Sainz is edging away from me with the DRS. I thought I might have DRS, but I don't. I think of diving down the inside, again showing each other respect, and he ends up getting the better out of this battle. So I let him go, and now we need to stick with him. We need to keep on his behind. We don't want to lose it. So going on to lap 9, we are still with 7/10. We're still in the DRS of Carlos Sainz, but these corners, I told you during practice that these corners you need to perfect. And there I have a little oversteer, and it's pushed me wide. It's causing Perez to come into, causing myself and Perez to start a little battle here, and it's not great. It just means that I've now fallen out of the DRS of Carlos Sainz. He's now 1.5 seconds ahead. Oh no, this is turning out to be a horrible race. I'm just going backwards, but it's still the first stint. We still have a long race to go. It's only lap 9. Can I fend off Perez? No, Hamilton. Hamilton's moved up into 4th place, and we are fighting for the final podium slot on lap 9. So early, 1/10 behind us, and there goes Hamilton. Again, I'm not fighting it because I don't have the tires. I don't want to cause any collisions between us. They're just eating me alive at this point. So I need to change strategies. I need to think of something new. I am gonna go onto the soft tire, hoping that I can build a nice gap, and I go wide there. This, again, my tires are gone at this point. Something's happened behind me. I think Perez has actually, yeah, Perez is out of the race. Something's happened. I wonder if it's an engine failure or something, but soft tires. I'm going to dive into the pit lane now for these soft tires, and my thinking is I'm going to be, if the guys in front of me go on a hard tire, this is going to help me and I can be a lot quicker than them. But it means I will have to commit to another stop because I'm stopping so early. Do I get a perfect pit stop? Yes, I do. 2.4 to 2.5 seconds. What is the pit stop? It's 2.4 seconds. My teammate is in the pit. It was a great stop by the team. Well done, guys. Now, where are we going to end up over here? We are down in P15. Charles Leclerc just in front of us. So, now, I've overtaken Charles Leclerc. I've got Zhou and Magnussen in front of me. There's a three-way battle with these guys in front. I'm keeping it cool. I don't want to push them too hard. I think I am on the better tire at the moment. Their tire should be going, and I am done with Joe Hulkenberg. I dived down the inside, laid on the brakes, and it's again a little bit of contact there between us, but someone just came out of the pit. And who is it? It's Hamilton. Let's have a look at the replay over here. Going here, I go on the inside of Joe, and I overtake him with the DRS wide open. Magnussen just in front of me, and I do overtake him. But later on the brakes here, a little bit of contact. I push him wide. Hamilton's just behind me. I also go a little wide there, but more importantly, I have kept the position. I'm ahead of Hamilton. He was ahead of me. Now, there's a safety car. And this could have been the worst time for a safety car because this is bunching up the field. I need to decide on a strategy. Am I going to dive into the pit lane, or do I keep these tires on till the end of the Grand Prix? But I dive in to the pit lanes on Max Verstappen. I get told I need to give the position back, but I was just thinking, you know what? He's going to pass me anyway. Let me take a little cheeky extra bit of time off of him. And we're into the pit lane. We are going to go on the soft tires. Again, new soft tires for the rest of the Grand Prix. Do we have enough laps left over to make it into the top 10? This is going to be crucial. We have to fly. We need to pump out some amazing lap times. The guys in front of me are 17 seconds ahead on lap 17, 16.5. The end of lap 18, I've started doing some quick times. I'm using up all my tires. I can't leave anything on the track. I need to take everything out of these tires now. There's a couple laps left to go. I'm 7.5 seconds ahead with the fastest lap of a 131.4. DRS isn't enabled at the end of lap 20, or no, I shouldn't say at the end of lap 20, but the first sector of level 20, I come up to the back of Sargent. I go a little wide there. I don't overtake him. I don't want to get a penalty. And I take him. I go around the outside of Sargent, and I am up into 18th position. What a move. Now chasing down my teammate on lap 21. I end up on the back of my teammate. And here, don't want to cause a collision. We're trying to fight for the championship. I touched the wall a little there. I'm using up all of my ERS. I'm catching my teammate. The gears are screaming in my ears, but I'm going down. I'm going around the outside of my teammate to take P17. Hulkenberg in front. He's on the hard tires. This should be easy pickings, but there is not a lot of laps left over, and the guys in front have pulled away massively. So this is about damage control. I need to see if I make it into the top 10 within 4 laps. Okay, so now Hulkenberg, again, I'm right at the back of Hulkenberg. This is actually hurting me to stay with him, but I can't overtake him with these little S's. If I make a mistake here, I'm either into the wall or we are both out of the Grand Prix. So keeping it clean, keeping it tight, and Hulkenberg, he is now 2/10 in front of me, and I dive down the inside, late on the brakes, I push him a little wide, maybe made a little bit of contact, but I need to be aggressive. We are chasing down as the points, we're chasing down at least a points finish. Whether we get it or not, I don't know. I run wide, I've just been hit with a track limits warning, Albon in front of me, 4/10, and this is for P15. Am I gonna get it? Up into 8th gear, I need to think a little carefully here. We don't want to make a mistake. Again, these are tight corners. This is a tight circuit. DRS wide open, ERS open, and I take Albon, I overtake him, and we are clear. So we have Gasly in front of us. He is 1.7 seconds in front on lap 24. We're taking a lot of time out of him. Now, starting lap 25, let's ride on board for the last lap of the race. Now, again, at this point, now I'm thinking, I have just messed up. I've pulled a Ferrari. I've messed up my strategy. This is not my engineer's fault. This is solely my fault. I decided to make this call. I decided to do this, and it's absolutely destroyed my race. It's destroyed any chance of scoring at least some points for the championship. This race will determine where we end up in the championship. We're going to be looking back at this race and saying we should have done better. No, I should have done better. The team were phenomenal this weekend, but I had just thrown it away by being greedy. It just shows you how heartbreaking it can be to be a Formula One driver. So Gasly now ahead of us, 7/10. Am I able to catch him? Going on to the last couple of corners over here. I need to nail this corner, but I don't nail it. I run over the curb. It sends me a little wide. It means I've compromised my position for this final sector. Now Gasly is 9/10. He's just overtaken Joe. And am I able to dive down? I go around the outside, almost making contact, but I can't keep it intact. I just crumble. The tires are gone. I've taken too much out of the tires. Max Verstappen wins the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, and we come in P15. What a shocking end to the race. What ended up being a great qualifying position. The team had done an amazing job to put us on the second row of the grid, and we just threw it away like that. What an embarrassment. All I can do is apologize to our team and just come back stronger for our next race.
But what set them apart from the rest?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalize on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sports that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So there you have it, guys. There is your top three. Max Verstappen won the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. What a race. Hamilton and Norris finished the podium. And yeah, what a disappointing race from our side. It could have been better, but there you have it. There's the classification for this Grand Prix, guys, and we just need to improve. That's all we can do. I ended up P15, Enzo ended up P18. This is not going to help us in the championship, so we definitely do need to go back to the drawing board. 3 drivers could not finish the race, but yes, this is how the driver standings look. Max Verstappen does take the lead. We do end up third currently on the constructors. Mercedes does make a couple gains, but yeah, more importantly, we do lose the lead of the championship, the drivers' championship. And like I said, this race is going to be very important for us. This is going to be a defining moment, this career mode. We will need to go back to the drawing board. We're going to need to have a have a look at how we can improve, make sure that this doesn't happen again. We need to make the best decisions that we can for this career mode. And yes, that is it. Guys, thanks for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and also leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys thought of the race, and tell me what you guys think I need to improve. Thank you guys. Peace. I'll see you next time.